my brothers and my sisters, I didn't come here today to entertain you. Held. I didn't come to make you feel good. I came to warn you, to awaken something deep in your spirit, because I need you to understand this one truth, clear and loud. DH, held, doesn't always knock on your door through disease. It doesn't always show up with a warning. Sometimes DH stars aram you or ledges. Yes, Lord. You may not feel it right away. It doesn't scream. It creeps. It sneaks in when you stop moving, when you stop caring, when you let comfort replace action. Held. And when you think growing old means growing useless. But I came to tear down that lie today. If you are 60, 70, 80 years old, this word is for you, oh you. Not your neighbor, not your cousin, yo. Ooh. Because there is still purpose in your breath, still strength in your spirit. But your legs, oh, your legs, they're sending signals. And if you don't start listening to what your body is saying, if you don't start feeding it, moving it, held, honoring it, you might be walking into the grave one slow step at a time. So hear me when I say this. E-T-I-C, I am indeed A-O. Not just with your mouth, but with your mind, your will, your discipline. Because if you don't move, you die. If you don't eat right, you fade. Held. If you don't believe this matters, you've already lost the battle. This is not just a health warning. This is a spiritual awakening. So sit up, lean in, and don't miss a word, because your legs, your life, are counting on it. Let me tell you something that many people don't realize until it's too late. Your legs are more than limbs. Held. They're the very pillars that carry the temple of your body. You can pray all you want for long life, for strength, for clarity of mind, but if the legs that carry your destiny are growing weak, your purpose becomes harder to walk in. We take them for granted. We assume they'll always be there, steady, held strong, supporting us through life. But I came to wake somebody up today. Held, I came to tell you that death doesn't always start in the heart. It starts in the legs. You see, when your legs grow weak, it's not just about walking slower. It's not just about needing help up the stairs. It's about losing access to your freedom, losing your ability to go where God is calling you. Because if your legs fail you, your independence is on life support. If your legs give out, your dreams shrink to the size of the room you're stuck in, held. And I'm talking to people who still have purpose burning on the inside of them, held. I'm talking to people who still want to live, still want to move, still want to do something great with the life they've been given. But the legs won't follow what the Spirit is commanding. The enemy doesn't always attack you head on. No, sometimes he takes your life by slowing you down. Not through war, not through chaos, but through stillness, through a lack of movement. He steals from you by convincing you it's okay to stop moving, to settle down, to rest too long. But the same body you feed spiritually needs physical care. The same temple you lift up in praise is the one you have to maintain in discipline. There are people in this room, people watching right now, held, who haven't felt the full power of their legs in years. Not because they're lazy, not because they're weak in spirit, but because life convinced them to slow down and they never got back up. I'm telling you right now, in love but with urgency, if you don't use your legs, you will lose your life one step at a time. And it won't happen all at once. It'll happen in small ways. Less walking, more sitting, less stretching, more aching. Until one day, held, you look up and realize the body that used to carry you has become a cage. But I declare today, that ends now. Held, it ends today. You are not too old. You are not too tired. You are not too late. You still have time to build back what's been breaking down. Held, your legs are waiting for you to believe in them again. Held, they're waiting for you to rise up and walk, not just physically, but spiritually. Held, because when you begin to move again, you reclaim your territory. When you walk again, held, you tell every cell in your body that you still have something to live for. Held, that you're not going to go quietly, that you refuse to let your final days be your weakest days. I've seen too many people die while they were still alive, sitting in silence, watching television until their vision faded, until their bones got stiff, until they forgot they were warriors in this world. I've seen men of strength become men of sorrow, not because their spirit left, held, but because their body quit too early. And it started in the legs. And I came to interrupt that cycle. Held. The word says we are fearfully and wonderfully made. That means every part of you has purpose. Your legs were made to move. They were made to walk, to climb, to dance, to run. Not just in your youth, but in your calling. So don't you dare accept a lie that says you're too old to move. Held, don't you dare settle into stillness and call it peace. That's not peace. That's decay in disguise. Get up. Even if it's slow, get up. Even if it hurts a little, get up. Even if you've been down so long you forgot how standing feels, I'm telling you, get up. Held, because your legs are still connected to your destiny. Your steps are still ordered. And your movement is a message to every cell, every muscle, every enemy, every excuse. You will not go out like this. You will not fade quietly. You will rise and you will move and you will live. Because death starts from your legs, but so does resurrection. Let me go deeper because I need you to hear me clearly. A high held. There's something happening in your body that you may not see. It doesn't announce itself. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't break in like a thief. It slips in quiet like a shadow. It moves through your muscles while you sleep. It starts taking from you little by little until one day you try to stand and your strength is gone. You try to carry the groceries and your arms tremble. You go to rise from a chair and your legs say, "Not today." What happened? You didn't get lazy, a high held. You didn't get careless. You just didn't know that muscle loss is silent. but dead lie. It's called sarcopenia, and it comes for us all as we age, starting as early as 30, and by 60, 70, 80. It's no longer creeping, it's sprinting. But because it doesn't cause a fever, because it doesn't show up on your face, you ignore it. You accept the weakness. You normalize the frailty. You say, well, I'm just getting old, and brush it off like it's supposed to happen. A high held. But I'm here to tell you, just because it's common doesn't mean it's natural. A high held, and just because it's quiet means it's not dangerous. You see, when you lose muscle, you don't just lose strength, you lose protection, you lose defense, you lose balance and stability, held, and confidence. That little stumble you had last week, that was your body warning you. That soreness you felt from climbing 2 stairs, that was your body crying out. It wasn't just fatigue. It was a signal that something is breaking down. And if you don't respond, if you don't act, if you don't fight back with food, with movement, a high held, with intention, you will fall into a trap that doesn't look like death, but smells like it. The enemy is subtle. He doesn't need to put sickness on you if he can slowly rob your body of its ability to fight. He doesn't need to steal your mind if he can weaken your frame until you're too tired to stand in purpose. But let me remind you, God didn't design you to fade out. You were built to be strong, even in old age. If you were built to walk with power, to lift your hands, to carry your testimony, not just in spirit, but in flesh. And here's the truth many people don't want to facing. If you don't feed your muscles, they die. If you don't use your body, it withers. And I know that sounds harsh, but somebody has to say it. Because too many of us are eating like our bodies don't matter. Skipping meals, ignoring protein, living on coffee and sugar, calling chips a snack and soda a drink. But your muscles are starving, a high held, and they are shrinking while you smile. What do you think keeps you strong when you fall? A high held? What do you think holds your frame when you're sick? It's not just bones. It's muscle. And the more you lose, the more vulnerable you become. Vulnerable to falls. Vulnerable to fractures. Vulnerable to the kind of weakness that no medication can fix. And here's the worst part. Once the muscle is gone, it's 10 times harder to get it back. But there is good news. You don't have to stay where you are. You don't have to accept this slow decay. Held. You can fight back. You can build again. You can nourish what's been neglected. It's not too late. God gave you a body that responds to care, that responds to movement, that responds to fuel. So, start feeding it like it matters. Start eating like your muscles are your army, because they are. Feed them with strength, with eggs, with nuts, with beans, with lean meat, with fish, with leafy greens. Stop thinking of food as comfort and start thinking of it as medicine. And while you're at it, move, even if it's a few steps. Even if it's just stretching in the morning. Get up every day and declare war on what's been trying to steal your strength in silence. Don't wait until you can't walk. Held, don't wait until you're in a hospital bed wondering what happened. Fight now, build now, eat now, move now. Held, pray now, live now. Because muscle loss doesn't come to play. It comes to steal, it comes to destroy. A high held, but you have the power to stop it right here, right now, today. What's silent in your body must not be silent in your spirit. Hell, we've talked about the leg healthy for one. Hell, we feed ourselves what's quick and what's cheap. But your life is not cheap. Your purpose is not quick. And the assignment on your life needs a body that can carry it. A high held. How can you expect to walk out your destiny on legs that are starving for real nutrition? How can you climb the mountains of life on a body built on sugar and salt? Let me be plain. As you age, your body needs more, not less. More protein, more nutrients, more wisdom in your choices. Your digestive system changes. Your bones thin, your joints stiffen. But if you're intentional, if you feed yourself what your body is truly crying out for, you can thrive, not just survive. You need food that builds you, not breaks you. Food that heals, not hurts. You need salmon full of omega-3s to fight inflammation that wants to rob your joints. You need leafy greens rich in magnesium and calcium to keep those bones upright. A high held. You need berries packed with antioxidants that sweep your body clean of the mess time leaves behind. You need turmeric, garlic, ginger. Yes, spices that aren't just flavor, but firepower for your cells. You need yogurt for your gut, eggs for your muscles, nuts and seeds for your brain. This isn't about dieting. This is about destiny. Because what you put on your plate will show up in your walk. What you eat in secret will be exposed in your balance, your energy, your mood, your strength. Some of us are praying for healing, and healing is already sitting on the produce aisle, a high held. Some of us are asking God to renew our youth, and he's already put the answers in what grows from the ground. But we keep choosing the bag over the blessing, the shelf over the soil. Let me ask you, what are you feeding your future? What are you giving your body to build with? If you give it junk, it'll build junk. If you give it nothing, it'll break down. But if you give it life, held, it will give life back to you. Don't wait until the diagnosis to make a change. A high held, don't wait until the pain forces you to pay attention. Choose life. Choose strength now. Choose health now. I know it's not always easy. I know old habits die hard. I know taste buds can be stubborn. But your taste buds don't carry your calling. Your body does, high held. And if you keep feeding the craving instead of the calling, you'll find yourself out of gas in the middle of your journey. But if you train your appetite, if you renew your mind, if you start to see food not as a reward, but as a resource, everything will begin to change. This is where discipline meets desire. This is where your fork becomes a weapon against weakness. Every meal is a message. Are you feeding your future, or feeding your failure? Are you adding life to your years or just years to your life? You have a choice. Held, every single day, you have a choice. And don't let anyone tell you it's too late. Don't you let shame tell you've done too much damage to turn it around. The body is incredibly forgiving when you treat it right. Muscles can grow again. Bones can strengthen. A high-held inflammation can calm. Energy can return, but you've got to start. A high-held, you've got to put down what's killing you and pick up what's healing you. A high-held. So when I say eat this immediately, I'm not being dramatic. I'm being urgent because time waits for no one. Disease doesn't take a break. And if you want to walk in your purpose, if you want to live a full life, if you want to stand strong in your old age and say, I have finished my race, you're going to have to eat like a warrior. A high-held, eat like you've still got mountains to climb. Eat like your life depends on it, because it does. Of you don't just eat to stay alive. You eat to stay strong enough to live. A high-held, now that you understand how your legs carry the temple, how muscle loss creeps in, and how food is your fuel, not just your comfort. Let me bring you to the last truth you need to grab hold of with both hands. A high-held, and I need you to listen closely, because this right here may be the difference between growing old in power or wasting away in passivity. Movement is not optional. Movement is not a luxury. Movement is warfare. You either move it or you lose it. A high-held, I've seen what happens when people stop moving. A high-held, I've seen what happens when a man once full of life begins to shrink into a chair. I've seen what happens when a woman who once danced before the Lord now watches life pass her by from the window. The light dims, the voice grows quiet, and the soul, though still breathing, starts to feel forgotten. Not because the spirit is gone, but because the body sat still for too long. Let me tell you something. Your daily walk is a daily war. Not with people, not with problems, but with stagnation, with decay, with deterioration. Every step you take is a declaration that says, I still have something to live for. Every time you rise from the bed and stretch those legs, a high-held, you're reminding your body that it's still in the fight. Because the moment you stop moving is the moment you start losing strength, losing circulation. Held, losing mobility, losing confidence, losing the right to say, I can. Don't let stillness become your story. Don't let the couch become your coffin. You weren't meant to sit out your final chapters. You were meant to walk them out with grace, with power, with dignity. I know the body gets tired. I know the joints ache. I know the knees aren't what they used to be. But if you stop now, you surrender. And we weren't called to surrender. We were called to press on. A high-held. Even the Bible says, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. I held, they shall walk and not faint. That's not just a promise for your spirit. That's a pattern for your life. Waiting on God doesn't mean sitting still. It means staying in motion while trusting Him with the outcome. A high held. It means moving even when you don't feel like it. Because faith without works is dead. And that includes the work of taking care of this body He gave you. Some of you are waiting for energy to come before you move. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for someone to help. A high held. But energy doesn't come on before you move. It comes because you moved. The fire comes after the first step. The joy comes after the obedience. And sometimes God won't send help until He sees you trying, until He sees you rising, until He sees you walk. Even if it's with a limp, even if it's slow, even if it's shaky, He honors the effort. A high held. He blesses the attempt. He meets you on the move. So if all you can do is walk across the room, then do it. High held. If all you can do is stretch in a chair, then stretch. If all you can do is raise your legs and hold them in the air for 10 seconds, then raise them. Because it's not about perfection. It's about consistency. And movement is a message to your mind, to your muscles, to your mission. I still have more to give. And let me say this to the ones who feel embarrassed, a high held, who feel like people are watching, judging, laughing. Don't let pride stop your progress. A high held, don't let fear keep you bound. This is about your life. This is about your calling. A high held, this is about your ability to keep showing up for the people you love, for the God you serve, for the purpose that still burns inside you. When you stop moving, you stop fighting. When you stop fighting, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you stop living. But every movement, every step, every stretch, every breath taken in motion is a choice to live again. A choice to stay in the fight. A choice to stand tall when life tries to bend you over. So get up, move, walk, stretch, stand, even if it's hard. Especially if it's hard. Because hard things train strong bodies. And strong bodies carry long callings. I don't care if you're 60, 70, 80, a high held, or beyond. If you woke up this morning, then you've still got breath in your body. And that breath wasn't wasted on someone who's supposed to sit still. Your movement is your ministry now. So walk like your life depends on it, because it does.